Welcome back. Okay, let's get started. Now, as I mentioned in my previous video, I have two excellent methods for you to use to boost your motivation. The first method requires a little bit of work, some focused attention. However, the really good thing about this method is that it creates those warm, motivated feelings that make you really want to work and really want to take action. Now, the second method is quicker and easier. In some cases, it can get you unstuck instantly. But there's a catch. If you choose the second method, it means that you're going to have to wait until those warm, motivated feelings show up. They show up much later with the second method. Okay? So I'll describe both methods to you. At the end of this video, take them away, experiment with them, decide which methods work in which situations. All right? So let's begin with the method that takes a little bit of work. I've worked with hundreds of life and career coaching clients, and I've noticed one strong pattern that often blocks us and prevents us from reaching our goals. So let me describe to you how this pattern begins to unfold. So on any given day, it comes time for us to actually get down to it and start working toward our goals. Unfortunately, what a lot of us do at the very beginning is we ask ourselves, do I feel like working on this right now? And unfortunately, many times the answer comes back, no, not feeling it, don't feel like doing it. And there can be a number of reasons why we genuinely do not feel like working on our goals. For example, maybe you're feeling a little sleepy or a little under the weather, and you'd much rather work on your goal when you're feeling better rested. And you use that as an excuse to delay your work. Another way that you can wreck your motivation is that perhaps there's something about the task that you need to do that's intimidating. And so by procrastinating and putting it off, you actually reduce your stress and make yourself feel a little more comfortable in the moment. Another thing that could possibly get in the way and wreck your motivation is another goal or priority could come in and knock your goal work to the curb, distracting you. Finally, another way that things could go wrong is that you could compare the goal work that you need to do with other activities. So examples would include playing a video game, chatting with your friends, or maybe surfing the internet. And let's face it, there's no way that your goal work is going to compare with these fun activities. So is this all sounding familiar? And I hope so, because these are the kinds of things that for many of us, it really blocks us and prevents us from making a lot of progress on goals that we really care about, myself included. Okay, so let's take a closer look at what it's like when we're stuck in this rut. So as I mentioned, what happens is you ask yourself if you feel like doing something and you say no and you don't do it. Then later that night, you face that dreaded question, so how did your day go? And you feel really guilty because you didn't work on your goal. You didn't have a very productive day. Now, the best case scenario is that you just postpone doing everything until tomorrow. In the worst case scenario, you also pound on yourself mercilessly, criticizing yourself, and your self-esteem takes a hit. Now, if this goes on for any length of time, then your confidence really goes down. I've had life and career coaching clients where they've failed to make progress on their goals for weeks, months, and sometimes even years. Now, this is what people mean when they say, I feel stuck, and I got to get unstuck. It really can get this serious. All right? So let's take a look at what's happening emotionally when we're stuck in this rut. Essentially, what you're doing is you're making how you feel right now a block. It actually prevents you from feeling good later on tonight and feeling good tomorrow. See, it cuts you off from the fuel of motivation, which is how good you're going to feel when everything is said and done and you've completed your goal, a goal that you really want to achieve. So the way out of this rut is to reverse this process, okay? And I have a 5-step process that I'll describe to you, and I call it the tomorrow, tonight, right now process. When this video is complete, look for the text on the web page that says Motivation Worksheet, and you can press or click Motivation Worksheet, press that link, and you can view or print a worksheet that can help you to walk through this process. But I'll describe it verbally for you right now. Okay? So here we go. Step number 1. Step away momentarily from whatever it is that you're doing. Perhaps walk to a window or walk outside. Give yourself a different view. Step number 2, take 3 deep breaths. Follow the air in, follow the air out, clear your mind, maybe stretch a little bit. Just take a few moments to do that. Step number 3, focus on tomorrow. And what I mean by tomorrow is basically on that day when your goal will be complete and how great you're going to feel about it. Continue to breathe slowly and deeply. Step number 4, think about what you would need to do today so that you can feel proud of yourself tonight. Again, continue to breathe slowly and deeply. And then step number 5, ask yourself what you can do right now. A really small step, something very doable, that can get you to begin to walk down that road toward having a good day, and then do it and give it your full focus and your full attention and energy. Okay? And that's the method. Let me give you an example of what this looks like. So, for example, I can reflect on how my goal eventually is to lose 10 pounds. So my tomorrow vision is my waist will be a lot smaller, I'll have more energy, it'll really feel great to have lost those 10 pounds. And then I ask myself, well, what do I need to do today so that later on tonight I can feel as if I had a productive day? And I think to myself, well, if I stick to my nutritional plan and if I get some activity, then it'll feel like I'm making some progress, that I'm moving down the road toward my ultimate goal. Then if I reflect on what I can do right now, perhaps oftentimes I go to the gym. Maybe I had the gym scheduled for today, but maybe today is extra busy and I don't really have time for that. So I think, what else could I do? What would I be willing to do instead that still would help me to feel as if I'd been productive? And I might think, well, I can take a walk. I'm willing to take a walk. So then I do it. I take the walk, I focus on it, and as I'm taking my walk, I'm reminded of how good I'll feel tonight about having made progress, and how good it is that I'm making progress toward my ultimate goal, and it puts a pep in my step. All right? Now, I actually used this technique before I wrote the script for this video. What I did was I just walked to the window and I reflected on how good it's going to feel when I have all 4 of the videos complete. Then what I did is I thought, what would I need to do today to feel as if I'd been productive, as if I'd made some significant steps in that direction? And I thought, well, if I get some good work done on one video, that would be great. And then I asked what I could do right now, and I thought, well, get right back to the computer and continue working on the script. Now, the most important part of that little story is that whole process took 2 minutes, and we all have 2 minutes a few times throughout the day to stop, reconnect with how good it's going to feel when we reach our ultimate goal, and then inspire us to take action now. Okay? So that's the first method. Let me present the second method to you, which is the easiest one because it has fewer steps and it's quicker. All right? This one has only 2 steps. Step number 1, ask yourself, what action are you willing to commit to for only 30 minutes at a minimum? Okay? So what are you willing to do right now for 30 minutes? And then part of the deal is at the end of the 30 minutes, if you are hating it, you're allowed to drop it and stop it. And then you can go off and play a video game or chat with your friends or surf the internet. But if you feel like it, you can continue on after that. All right, so that's step number 1. Step number 2, go do that activity and give it your full attention and your full focus. And those are the 2 steps. So what's happening here is that for a lot of us, we're asking to feel motivated before we're willing to take action. And that's a little bit like putting the cart before the horse. It's out of order. And you might ask yourself, well, why is that? And I think it's because for a lot of us, we need to take action before we really feel emotionally connected to what it's going to be like to work on our goal and to complete our goal. So the action really reconnects us to why it is we're doing all of this in the first place. So let's swing this back around to the weight loss example that I used earlier. So I could think to myself, what am I willing to do? What am I willing to do for 30 minutes that could give me some good progress? And I think, take a walk. And so I go and I take the walk, I give it my full attention. And during the walk, I'm reminded of how good I'll feel tonight. Maybe I'll start to feel more energized. and get a pep in my step and feel good about losing weight. And who knows, you know how you get involved in an action and suddenly you lose track of time? I may enjoy myself so much that I'll actually walk for 45 minutes or for an hour. And that's how it works. That's the second step. Essentially, you're separating your willingness to take action from how you feel. You launch into action and then watch the good feelings come up later. That's how this works. So those are the 2 steps. So take them away, again, experiment with them, see which ones work for you. Now, motivation is a strange beast. It really is. I mean, everybody wants it. Nobody can have it 100% of the time. And not everything works for every single instance. You have to mix and match and try different things. At its heart, Daily Pivots is all about motivation. In fact, it has a whole chapter devoted to motivation. In addition, part 2 has 61, count them, 61 short motivational stories that are designed to really make you feel like taking action that you need to take in a given moment. So feel free to buy the book. You will be glad when you do, I'm sure. But feel free to use these free motivational tips. And as I mentioned earlier, I also have a sample free chapter for you. The title of the chapter is Let's Look at Pivot Points. So again, look at the text on the web page that says sample chapter. Press and click that link and you can view or print the sample chapter. Okay? Now to return to the Daily Pivots website, click the back link located toward the top of this web page and that'll bring you back there. All right, so that completes this video. Thank you very much for spending this time with me, and I hope you find these tips to be wonderful and that you enjoy the chapter. Have a great day. Bye now.